Hello and welcome to my channel. It's weird because my channel is actually called Simply Gingy Nails, but this is very much not a nail video. This would, I guess, be part of my other passion, my other love, just planners, which you could probably tell from the unhinged amount of planners I'm currently attempting to use. So as it's, May and the year's almost halfway over, I thought I might do kind of a Techo Kaigi catch-up, I guess, or mid-year checkpoint, and talk about what I've been using this year, how it has or hasn't been working, which is the case for actually a lot of this, and then what my plans are moving forward for the last 6 months of the year, which I'm very excited about. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. My name's Anna, in case I didn't say that. Okay, so last year I used a Hobonichi Cousin, which is the A5 one, like this. This year I decided to go with instead of a Hobonichi, to use the Common Planner by Sterling Ink, because I wasn't very consistent with the daily pages last year, so I thought that it would be better to have kind of all the blank pages. But spoiler alert, I actually hated that about it. So I thought I'd just do, I guess, like a little bit of a flip through. So really didn't use a lot of this. A lot of this has really gone to waste. I was kind of using the monthlies in the beginning to do some planning, and then I was gonna write like, just memories, things that have happened. But yeah, for the most part, it's gone unused. And then the weeklies, I used a little bit more, mostly just kind of normal planning, grocery lists, planning content for my nail Instagram page, content. My husband and I were having a discussion about our college schedules, so we used a blank one that I hadn't used to write those down. Some homeschool planning for my son. I was trying out doing like art journaling in here. Blank, lots and lots of blank. And then this is this week. I've used it for my grocery list. I think that I'm gonna try to use it this week, but not sure. Daily pages, or the blank, part. I started out with the intention to just kind of use it as a notebook to fill it in with whatever was kind of relevant. So this is some recipes for Korean food from Hami's mommy, who's a Korean vlogger, YouTuber mom. I love her videos, and she makes some delicious food. And then I was gonna write in French, some notes on skincare, more French, just daily pages. Yeah, I was using my fountain pen, which I love. This is just some random notes about different things, food, homeschool stuff. This was me trying out a new system that clearly worked really well. Nail drawings, random Instagram stuff. It's a lot of what it ends up being. Some notes on a book I was reading. This was me trying out a system that I ended up buying this planner, which I'll talk about later. And that kind of worked for me for a while. And then on March 13th this year, I started using it for my morning pages. This is when I discovered Amy Y'all and started trying to do some creative kind of journaling with like drawing and stuff, which was fun, but didn't last very long. Honestly, I think part of that was I knew that I wanted it to be created. Like I don't mind my handwriting, but I'm not the biggest fan of it when I write big titles. So I knew that I did not want to be writing the date. Let's see, more Instagram notes. This really ended up being just like a notebook, more Instagram notes. This was from like the 2 days that I tried to learn Japanese. And then back to just doing morning pages in here. And I did morning pages for a while in here. More Japanese, more random notes, more morning pages. So pretty much this just turned into a notebook, and it was not really working for me. And I will talk about how it's changed notes from a book notes, morning pages. So yeah, pretty much this was just a notebook. And then this is where we are now, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Brief note, I have these two Hobonichi weeks, and these were both being used for memory keeping for my children. So just writing down stories every day of what, something that they did during the day. That's just the same for both of them. I haven't been super consistent with this, but I really want to get back to it. I'm trying to backfill a little bit if I know there's kind of like a specific big thing that I want to include, but for the most part I'm just letting it go because some memories are better than no memories. And then I talked about this briefly. This is the daily planner by the Productivity Method by Grace Beverly, who is amazing. And this is a really cool system where this is undated. It does have weekly like pages. I wasn't really using these. But so every day has a schedule, quick ticks, which are things that you can do in less than 5 minutes. Tasks are things that are 5 to 30 minutes, and projects are tasks or things that take 30 plus minutes. And then you can write down like your 3 non-negotiable things I'll get done today. And this was really, really good. I have ADHD, and I do feel like this was very helpful because sometimes I like to write really, really long to-do lists, but I'll often make really long to-do lists that end up being just pretty unmanageable. So this is really good to like break it down and to be able to kind of schedule in when you're going to do all those tasks. So I use this on and off. I still will probably use this occasionally on days where I'm struggling and need kind of to really break out my to-do list like this. But this just wasn't working as like a all-in-one planner for me. And then the other planner that I've been using since the beginning of the year, using in the most vague, loose terms, is this week's. Yeah, and it's just kind of like my cousin, which is, I was kind of using it, pretty much not using it. Something to do. Tried to use it to schedule like content, and then I just took a long time off of it again. I would come back to it occasionally, but for the most part I wasn't using it. I think I actually ended up losing it for several weeks. And then I think this is last week, or this is last week, so I'm trying to use it again because I feel like this is the best. In reality, this is like for my weekly planning, a great system for me. It's just that I oftentimes don't use it, or I try to use it for too many things. And I think that's where using the other books in my system are going to come into play. That this can just be my content planning, my to-dos, places where I need to be, and then ideas about content, and also just a running to-do list, as well as actually utilizing the back to do like a weekly to-do list or like a long running to-do list. So yeah, so that is my plan with this moving forward. Okay. The other book that I added recently is this Hobonichi Originals, the A6 size. And I'm using this, I mentioned earlier finding Amy Y'all and starting kind of creative journaling, but not liking it in the cousin in the A5 size, so I did go ahead and get this, the A6, and start doing this. So I got this in probably like the end of March, so I started it really in April. So I was trying to use the monthly to write like something that happened every day or how I was feeling about the day. I'm not doing the best at that, but you know, that's okay. Trying it again for this month. I think that's a good way to just kind of get an overview of everything. And then again, I'm trying to backfill a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna put any pictures or drawings in it, but I do kind of want to just go back and write just a little snippet of what happened every day of the year. So I think I only did the first. I take so many pictures that I know it'll be pretty easy to find just one thing based off of going through my camera roll. So that's what I plan on doing. And then April 1st was the first spread that I did. So this was this is kind of taking over my memory keeping. I've always been a big scrapbooker. I take a lot of pictures. I used to do traditional scrapbooking, and that has really taken a back seat since having kids. So I kind of want this to kind of fill that role of memory keeping, being a place for me to be a little bit more creative and draw, even if I'm not the best at that, as well as a place to put some pictures. I think this has already kind of evolved just over the month, where I think it was going to be more me focused. I think I've decided this is going to definitely be more like family memory keeping. So I have like books that I've read, quotes from my kids, random, you know, tidbits of our life. Holy smokes, it's my son's new saying. More books that I've read. Yeah, just kind of doing that. I've been loving doing this. It was something that I really wasn't sure if I was going to end up being consistent with it. I've been pretty consistent. I usually do kind of one big catch-up, 1 or 2 catch-ups during the week, especially because I like to print out pictures. And I only have 4x6 paper to print on. So in order to print them small enough to really fit in here, I have to do multiple days at a time. But that works out because then I just catch up and I don't worry about doing it every single day. But some things I will write in the moment. I wrote like that quote, or most recently, well, this was another book that I read, funny story. Like most recently, we watched the Miami Grand Prix. Lando Norris won his first race, or his first Grand Prix. And so I wrote that immediately so I could remember that. Or remember to write it. Because that's something else that I kind of want to start working on adding into this book, is not just photos and memories and drawings and stuff, but kind of current events. I have that, and then I have somewhere back here, will TikTok be banned? Just kind of, so that when we look back at this, we can kind of look at it in, you know, what's the word? Context of what was going on in the world at the time. So I'm excited to keep going through this. This pretty much is going to stay the same for the rest of the year. My plan is to just keep this the same. That's kind of what's I've been doing this year so far for my planning. And as you know, you may have seen, it hasn't been working out super good. It's not something that I've been very consistent with. I think that I bought a lot of things without really coming up with reasons to have them at the beginning of the year. So I'm really trying to figure out what's important to me and what works for me now. So this is one of those things. I will definitely continue with this for the rest of the year. I'm really loving the A6 size. I think it's just big enough to put some pictures in, do drawings like this, but it's not so big that I feel like I'm, you know, wasting a day or something, that like this was all that I wrote for this day. Like, it's not a scary amount of space to fill up. So I'm going to continue with this for memory keeping, and I've really been enjoying that. And then we're going to go back to this for kind of just my life daily planning. using this as I guess it's intended. I'm just using it as a straight planner, using this to put in, you know, dates, using the weeks to track content that I want to post on my Instagram, to-dos or places I need to be, and then to-do lists, probably planning content on the bottom, and then using the back pages for brain dumps, and just like running to-do lists. And I love, love, love the size of the weeks, so I'm excited to be using this more. Also, I love this design by, I want to say the artist is Yumi Higashi. Here it says. Doesn't say on this one. Yumi Kiragishi is the artist, and I love this. It's the same artist as this, my cover for my not Hobonichi cousin. So what is going on with this? So like I said, this really kind of just became a notebook, basically scrap paper. But I knew that I wanted something that was more of, I've just been really missing the Hobonichi cousin. So I used last year and I want it back. So I was gonna use this. I had, you know, my date stamp, and I was just going to start stamping the date and writing in it, and I could have done that. I probably should have done that. But I did end up ordering a cousin, because it doesn't make me happy. Something about it. I'll continue to use this for morning pages probably. But I'm going to start working in the cousin doing something like this, which is, and I'll talk about this more once I get the cousin in. But I rediscovered Megan Rhiannon's channel, as well as this newer channel called The Common Corner. And they've really inspired me to get back into kind of archiving and commonplacing, which is what I was doing in my cousin last year. And so that's what I'm going to be moving forward doing. That's who, like, I stole this from the Common Corner, putting the time that you first kind of check in. And then Megan Rhiannon's always been very big about all of her lines and margins and everything. So I'm kind of stealing the Common Corner system a little bit. So I'm going to be using the cousin to do kind of like daily logging, daily journaling. And then I got the Hobonichi memo pad, the 5 memo pads to do commonplacing. Because that's something that, like, I have, where is it? Like these. I have this, like, this is book notes. I like being able to take book notes in like this size of notebook. I don't like using like a big spiral bound notebook. I like this, but obviously in this it was just constantly getting lost anytime I take notes, because I'm moving forward so often with journaling. And then with the cousin, since it is dated pages, I don't necessarily want to take up a whole page with just notes. So I do want to have like a commonplace notebook system so I can take notes on different things and be able to flip back to it. So that is my plan. In terms of like the monthly and the weekly, I don't think that this is really going to get used. I think in the cousin I will probably use like, well, this, like the forward logs for indexing. I probably just won't even use the weekly. I really wish that Hobonichi would make a cousin or an A5 size notebook with like the monthly or in the dated, but no weekly, or even just the dated, because I just want it for the dated journal pages, because I'm going to be using this to do my like monthly actual planning. That would be, I think, my dream Hobonichi planner. Just the dated pages. I don't need all of this in the beginning. But yeah, so that is, I think, what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. So it's going to be a 4-book system. So this for daily logging, well, the cousin, but you know, this size, this for actual planning, the A6 for creative journaling, memory keeping, and then the A5 memo pads for commonplacing, note taking, all of that kind of stuff. It sounds like a lot when I say it out loud. But I think that that's really going to work for me. Oh, and then of course we also have to think about these for child-specific memory keeping. Okay, yeah, that's kind of a lot. This is how my brain works. More is more. More is always better. That's just kind of my plan for the rest of the year and how everything is going. I will definitely check in with you again about this once I get my new setup, or like to set up my Hobonichi cousin and memo. Hopefully in the next couple days, once I get that, I will definitely do a setup video or setting up my cousin and commonplacing notebook once I get those in. But yeah, so for now that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you found this interesting. I hope that if you also have a insanely chaotic system, you feel a little bit better about it now. And I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.